Evangelist Morris Cerullo has been in ministry for over 72 years. He and his wife, Theresa, have been married and have ministered together for over 66 years. Now, in this rare interview, Theresa shares her personal insights with struggles she and most of us face in our walk as Christians, feelings of unanswered prayer, and maintaining a loving marriage. Plus, she shares her thoughts on the ministry that will continue to build God an army until Jesus returns.
For those people who go through circumstances and your prayers aren't answered, for instance, we went through a circumstance with our son. We prayed day and night for that child. We believed God for a miracle in his life. Was God not willing to perform a miracle? Of course he was. But he knew in his heart that it was time to take Mark home. And so he took him home. He did not heal him. How did I deal with that? In those days, which was many years ago, I didn't deal with it very well. So I can understand how people feel. I was very angry with God. And I'd say to God, I've served you all my life. I've given you everything, my children, my husband. How could you allow my son to be gone? And while I'm in a meeting, in a crusade, dealing with people and giving them hope and telling them that they need to turn to Jesus, who will hear and answer your prayer. And I went through that. It was not easy. I just didn't want to have anything to do with praying because I felt like God had not been faithful to me. And even though we were still traveling and I would travel with him, deep in my heart, it was always God. Why am I even doing this? Where are you? It was a struggle. But my struggle was, help me. Help me to get past this point. Help me, by your grace, to understand. Help me not to become bitter and angry. And you have to practice that. For me, that was my experience with God not answering prayer. But God was faithful, and he will be faithful. It's not always an easy journey, but the end is always victory, if you'll dare to believe that God is your refuge and strength, a very present help in time of trouble. He is. I can only speak about our experience as a husband and wife. Everybody has their ups and downs. Everybody has their misunderstandings. I mean, I've heard people say, I've never had a misunderstanding in my life. But that's not true. God is God, and we are human. We cannot be perfect. But in our experience, we have an unusual experience. We have, I guess, found the greatest love that you can find, because there's nothing that we have had to deal with in our life that we haven't been able to get together on. Even in dealing with my son when he was sick, and MC would feel one way and I would feel the other, and going through that battle of trying to negotiate as husband and wife, how are we going to deal with this? You come through because you love one another, and you're willing to forgive, and you're willing to forget and put it behind you. And he's always been so, let me put it this way, either real happy or real sad. You know, if he doesn't like something, he will tell you. And if he's real happy, you know it. But he's a happy person in his heart. He's a loving person in his heart. And if he says something that maybe would hurt you, he's right quick there to come back, and he doesn't mean it at all. You know, he's like a big teddy bear. He's just that kind of person. So I don't know about other people's marriages, but in life you have to be willing to negotiate. You have to be willing to forgive and forget, and you have to practice letting a person be who they are and not standing in the way of each other. I know for me, if he says he wants to do something and I don't like it, I don't come against him. I say, well, that's what you feel? Okay. Do I like it? No. But I let it be because I feel like he, as the husband, is being directed of the Lord to do what he does. And so sometimes I go when I feel I'm up to it. And when I'm not at this age in my life, I'm at home, and that's fine with him. So everything works out. I'm excited. I am thrilled. I am just so happy I can't express in words the feeling that we have, because at our age, starting out to build a project was a fierce battle to start with. But I am so excited with the plan that God has given, that the trouble that we've had to go through with the city and all the rest of it for all these years just seems like nothing compared to the victory that God's given. It was just amazing to see God turn the hearts of those people in the city who were contrary to us being able to go ahead. But down deep in our heart, God doesn't give a vision without giving the victory. So it was also having patience and waiting on the Lord and believing and sticking to your guns. God said it, and He's going to do it. I believe that there are hearts of those who work with us who have a burden for the lost, and who have a burden and a vision for what we're doing, and they will carry on when we're not here, because the ministry is not built on a man. I'm not concerned about who is going to be here when I'm gone. I'm just believing God that He will see to it that those whose hands it falls into will be giants in the Lord and be willing to pay the price to have it not only be successful, but to be a great success. All through these years, His vision has always been to raise up pastors, raise up leaders, and teach them. He's never been a man that would keep things and think that they're belonging just to him. He would always tell them what he could do, they could do. He trained them. He loved them. He taught them. I think the difference with him is that he tremendously understood the heart of people that had pain because of the pain that he went through. And he was very willing to be patient and to teach them one by one in the beginning, take them into his room and spend time with them, praying with them and telling them, here's what you have to do. You can do it. And it's worked. And those people have learned to love him because he has not just imparted the word, he's imparted his love and his spirit into their hearts so that they could carry on and do the work of the Lord. He's always been one of those guys that, hey, this doesn't belong to me. It's free for all of us, so be a part.